Welcome to a very exciting episode of the Happiness Economy podcast. Somebody that I can't believe it's been 40 episodes before we were able to get him on. And I'll say that because he's very sensitive and we've been wanting him from episode 3. We had 2 episodes that we wanted to do before him, and then we wanted him from episode 3. But he lives in Cape Town. He's incredibly busy.
Cape Town.
He lives in Cape Town. He's very humble.
Humble as a peacock.
And finally, we have one of the greatest friends I've ever had the fortune of having, Nicholas Goliath. Welcome. Please let both Nicholas Goliath and I welcome the great Siv Ngesi.
It's great to be here, man. Congratulations on all of this. Before I even begin, congratulations on all the incredible success that you guys have built. Everything you guys touch turns to gold. I love you guys working as family. I actually learned about working with family through you guys.
Are we?
My sister's my PA. I have my niece does stuff for me. My mother's dead, so she can't do anything for me anymore. But yeah,
you must play a lot to my friend.
Yeah.
Mom's is out.
but yes, but you guys have taught me how to work with family, and that is possible.
I consider you family, and I think we throw that term out a lot, but
like friends, people throw away friends.
Yeah, people throw their stuff out a lot, but I consider you family, and I consider you family because over the years I've become your third phone call. And when I say that, when something big happens, so first phones Kate, then he phones Gail, my mother, and then he phones me, and both Kate and Gail take him as a house child. You also are, I want to say, an infectious person, but I think I'll say it from Nicholas's perspective. You've been an infection. You've been an infection because just outside the studio, when we were greeting, you were kissing Nicholas on his head and reminding me that when we met 16 years ago or so now, or nearly, let's call it 15 years ago, kissing either of us would not have been a thing. And now we you get to that point where you just accept the infection. The infection is going to be part of your life, and Siv is gonna hug you and kiss you. And if you've ever met Siv, that is the truth about how he is. I want to get straight in because we even if we did this for 4 hours, we would not have enough time to do this podcast because there'd be so much to talk about. So I want us to try and focus it and focus our energies. Very, very quickly, Siv and I met on the set of Castle Lager years ago. It was my first big campaign. I was hugely depressed in a very dark space. It was before I'd started stand-up comedy. And I remember the moment we met. We were at Wardrobe. And when I arrived, everybody was going through the contract and people introduced, kind of greet all the cast members, and it was Brian van Niekerk, Siv Ngesi, and myself were the main, and there was Sandile. Sandile was quiet and still quiet.
Is that work-wise or
but as a gentleman.
Okay.
And people go, hey, this is Siv Ngesi, and he had this big reputation in the industry. And I go, hey Siv, Jason Goliath, how are you? And Siv's first words to me were, amazing, thanks. How are you? To which my brain went, oof, who the fuck says they're amazing? Like, what type of thing is that? And felt a bit weird. A couple of minutes later, we've gone through all of the, people are busy changing, and we just get our contracts and we're busy reading the contract. And we come across a word that says, you shall not degradate the brand. And none of us had seen that word degradate before. And if you read degradate, you want to say denigrate. You want to say
degradate?
Degradate.
Date?
It's degradate.
Check this. Degradate.
Tell today. Yeah, check it there, please, Eric. But what had happened was I was trying to read this word, and I was like, you shall not degrade. And then Siv, of course, Mr. Show, says to me, just give me that thing, let me read it, grabs it, and then bashes the English even worse than me. And that was the reason we became friends right there in that moment. We laughed for days because I was like, yeah, because you want to English me in front of white people. They want to make me look bad. And in that moment, we became friends, and I've had, I think, the most beautiful friendship where we've got to feel and experience things that I don't think we would have otherwise felt. You, the reason I started stand-up comedy, I'll never forget the day that I said to Nick, listen, this guy Siv at the end of the shooting said to me, you should try stand-up comedy. And Siv gave me the best advice because I said to him, no, brah, I'm braai funny, not stage funny. And he said, brah, relax, I'm not saying you're going to be the next Trevor Noah. I'm just saying you should try it because I really think you'll love it. You obviously like making people laugh. You should try stand-up comedy. So here sits the who I credit to. Say it, Eric? Degradation. Thank you.
Degradation.
You still, after all these years, trying to English
all
me.
this money.
Still trying to
all
English
this
me.
money and riches.
Thank you very much.
I thought it's degradation.
Thank you very much. So, around Siv's outfit today, Siv is dressed in G-Star,
Top to toe.
head to toe, because we were also trying to show off those times. You know, you were putting on a front.
Wait. You have to make this. We have to make sure that this is a cuttable thing. So let's make it nice and clean. No one, because I'm gonna cut it and tag G-Star. Just start like it's a separate thought.
Siv is dressed head to toe in G-Star today, which is hilarious for me because we shoot this ad and a week later we come back to Joburg to shoot the digital version. They were shooting some episodes and we were at Bevan Cullinan's house who was directing this thing. And Siv puts his jacket down and Bevan Cullinan's dog takes a wee on Siv's jacket and Siv shouts out loud, "Oh no, not my G-Star!" Which was the fake G-Star that he had bought at some flea market.
Yes.
Spent 120 rand those years. But because he wanted everybody to think he was the guy, we were broke us. He shouts out loud, "Oh no!" So he didn't go, "Oh no, this dog peed on my jacket." He shouts out, "Oh no, not my G-Star."
And now G-Star sponsors me.
Head to toe. So just to show you, life can go from a Jack Russell peeing on your fake clothes. From P-Star to G-Star.
And I'm actually emceeing a G-Star event tomorrow.
And you look amazing in G-Star.
Yes, but I'm hot
too.
as a hell.
Take the jacket
like
off.
I'm ready. Can I take it off now?
Please.
I just took it off. I just put it on to make sure that people can see that I have a G-Star jacket.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Eric, just be careful. That's a 20,000 rand
Eric,
jacket.
that's the same color as you.
Unnecessary. Okay, so now that we've got all of that out the way, Nicholas, I feel like we are safest if you lead. So take us away. Why is Siv here? What do we do here?
Because Siv's your friend. And you've wanted him here since episode 3.
Oh,
and
wow.
Since we do the show together, I have to kind of...
Oh, wow. I thought this guy was my friend.
With Siv. No, man. You know, dude, so like Jay said, you were the reason that we had the conversation about comedy. You were the reason that we kind of started. And I'd always just heard about you. You were always just this guy that was... Because at that time... You weren't traveling as much because, as we've heard now, you were both poor. Nobody was sponsoring your things.
Nope.
And, you know, it impressed me that, because I know Jay, like, it impressed me that somebody was able to get through to him and speak to him and convince him to try this thing, that we could have the conversation. And that thing changed our lives, bruh. That conversation that the two of you had changed both of our lives.
As much as a life can be changed.
Yeah.
Our lives change.
And I believe that's why the two of you are such good friends, because like my friends that are not Jason have also impacted my life in ways that not everybody can do. So that's why you're here. That's why Siv is here, is because it's changed our lives, because we wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't have the conversation with Jason. And then in all these years, the bride loves you like more than people love their friends. And when I met you the first time, I can't remember the day or when the first time was, but when I met you, I was like, I also felt that, bit of an arrogant bride here. And dude, you are. You are.
I'm pretty great.
But you are in the way that that's who you are. You accept it or don't. Like, from the outside, from being somebody who's not you, either we have to accept you as you are, or we have to not be around you. And you just have too much energy. You've always got a good vibe. You're always aiming for the right thing. So I think we want to start is, how did you become this person, brah? How do you become this positive
force?
Yes.
Thanks for the kind words. I agree with everything you've said. Today I shared something on Instagram this morning of a random message at 11:45 p.m. for my mother. And it said on the lines of, "Hey, my baby, you're amazing. You're the greatest. I love you," kind of a thing.
I saw that. It also had a million
Hearts,
emojis.
whatever.
Like
Did your
40
mother also do the wrong emojis?
emojis
yeah.
before
My mother does
and
this.
40
Just anything.
after.
Yeah,
She does
everything.
this one
Yeah.
because she thinks it's a hug. And it's not a hug, man.
So I grew up being told I'm great every day of my life. Like I consistently was told how amazing I was. I was the only boy. There were two older sisters. I was the youngest. And my name is Siv Ngesi, which means we are happy. And then everyone who's named Siv Ngesi, they call him Mavui. Translation is Mom is happy. My mother was very hard on me, very, very hard on me. Like I struggled with her growing up. She was a principal. But what she knew is that I was different. And my sister, I'll never forget my sister. My sister's 13 years older than me. My sister said to me growing up, she was just like, "You irritated us growing up because we knew you were special. And everyone treated you like you were special. Everyone always told me I was special and I was different. All I had to do was listen." So like if parents are listening, you're a parent, like the reinforcement, my mother continues to be my steroid. And I think everyone thinks I am in your face because of what I am now. No, bro, I am because of what I was given and what was instilled inside of me from an early age. I'll never forget, I called my mother after winning the SAFTA.
Yeah.
I called my mom after winning the SAFTA. Do you know what she said? Undenze umntu. Direct translation is, "You made me someone."
Oh.
Yes. Like what?
Yes.
Like what? Like,
And yet she had no doubt.
no. Like it's, I had a difficult week. I had a difficult weekend with Easter because food equals memories, and it's difficult for me. And I am jealous of everyone who has mothers, and I'm jealous of everyone and I'm jealous of people who have shit relationships with their mothers. Because I'm like, damn, I'll take that over and I'll change it. And people,
shit one is better than no relationship.
and people, some people who look at my relationship with my mother and go, well, I'm not close with my mother, so it wouldn't be as hard as yours is. And I'm like, you will mourn not having a relationship.
So let's give people context. There's I've been fortunate enough to love two versions of Siv. One with a mom and one since your mom's passed. So before your mom passed, I think one of our points that we got on with is we have a very similar relationship with our mothers. A mother that believed in you, told you were beautiful, told you you were enough, told you that you were going to be great. And I have a very similar relationship with my mother, and therefore very protective, very loving, and we had very similar relationships with our mom. Your mom passed a couple of years ago, and I remember not being able to say to you what was kind of prescribed. Like, I remember phoning you and going, "Bro, I know I'm supposed to tell you that everything is going to be okay, but the only thing I can think about right now is, so what's the point now? Like, what are you living for? Who you making proud? Who's going to pray for you?" And I remember just thinking through that devastation. It's taken you a while, and I think the healing journey will be with you for a number of years. But I've watched you fight to get back to the light. And now that we have context for that, I'd like you to continue. So you speak about being jealous of everybody, not appreciating even a bad relationship with their mother.
Like I think the interesting thing about when you lose a parent, especially a mother, is that especially the boy mother relationship, mommy's boy kind of a thing, is that I think when they're alive, you don't realize that even the bad times, I miss the bad times.
Even when they're fighting you,
I miss the
annoying
arguments.
Yeah.
I miss being upset with her. I miss not letting her into my space. And then you talk about, do you know what's the most useless human emotion? Regret. It's useless. It's useless. It's like jealousy. It's useless. It's useless. But I have regrets. And the biggest regret is, I wish I loved her more. I couldn't love her more. And I wish I experienced her as a grandparent. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wish
A
I...
different person.
You know what I mean? Like, then you see this thing, you know? I remember...
See the other side of your parents.
Oh,
man.
Yes, I remember her on the mortuary table and fixing her sock. And then I felt ice cracking. And I was like, oh my God, she's gone. And then I remember like looking at her and going, oh my God, she's so beautiful, you know? And then the only time I've ever had this feeling before was 2 other times. I felt like all of the energy and sugar had been taken out of my body. And it was like an adrenaline rush, but like I've only felt it twice before. When my dad died, when I told the doctor to switch off my dad's pump. And secondly, when I was getting circumcised in the bush. And it's adrenaline, but people feel it as someone's spirit leaving. But what it actually is your body going...
It's full survival mode.
Fight or flight. Fight or flight. What are we going to do? And I felt this... the feeling. And I realized when people talk about angels, it's like this thing leaving... It's actually just adrenaline kind of a thing. And if I could give anyone advice, is love them hard. You know what I mean? Love them hard. And another thing is, for me... I witnessed a lot of people and their relationship with their mothers, whatever. It's not about saying spend more time with them. Just quality time with them. I wish I wasn't on my cell phone. I wish when she used to say, I'm downstairs, I'm around the corner, can I come for tea? And I used to go, no, girl, my place is a mess. You're not coming in here.
Because you know that they're going to come and charge you.
What? My mother would have judged.
Clean.
If my mother saw the size of my TV, she would go, oh, Glatani. Glatani. And all these shoes, Glatani.
Siv's mom. So, you know, all Siv's friends will tell you that Siv loves talking in person, but on the phone, he's always trying to end the conversation. So Siv will phone you, say what he's got to say, and then you still have things to say, but he said what he needs to say. Then he just starts going, okay, bye. It's like
bad sex. You wanted to finish.
So that's why I'm such good friends with Kyle. Kyle will know you also pull that move.
100% can rush you off the phone when they don't want to talk. And Siv's mother once said to me, I'll never forget, she fetched me. I think you fetched me from the airport and your mom was with you, or she came to fetch us from the airport or whatever it was.
Before Uber.
Yes, before
I wasn't going to fetch you.
And I'm complaining to Siv's mother about the fact that why is Siv like this? Like, why must he always just be rushing us off the phone? And then she said, that is why I phone him. Because on my airtime, the phone ends when I say it must end. When he tries to put the phone down, I say, no, my boy. We are still talking. When I say this phone call is over, this phone call will be over.
So yeah, man, it's one of those things. It's like, now I can talk without crying, but it is like I think I was on a motorbike I was riding a motorbike about a year ago, and a woman cut me off, and I didn't press the brakes fast. And I understand this weird thing with suicide. Like, now my sisters are going to hear this because they've heard me say it before, and they're going to message each other thinking I'm suicidal. No, I'm not suicidal. I'm just saying I understand why people commit suicide, because I remember wanting the pain to go away so badly.
Has your mother's death changed the way you are able to empathize with anybody going through anything?
I've always been a softie. I always believe that I'm kind. And I don't believe I'm arrogant, because I think the definition of arrogance is someone who puts himself before other people at all times. I don't think I'm that. I think I'm cocky. I think I'm in your face. I think I'm overconfident.
Unless you're trying to compete with him.
Yeah.
Because you can be beating Siv 10-0 in FIFA. When he scores 1 goal, he runs around the house like he's won the game.
Yeah, sometimes
in your face! Yeah. Like you, bro, I'm still 9 ahead of you. Doesn't matter.
But it's made me more empathetic. I think I'm a better version of myself without my... It's weird. I feel like I'm a better version after losing my mother. Because I see people and I go, okay, you're having a bad day. Maybe you lost your mother. Maybe something else happened. I think I'm more empathetic. And just some days I'm just content in feeling shit.
that wasn't okay before.
No.
Feeling shit was something that
No.
you never tolerated
No.
before, and they had very little empathy for those that felt shit around you that didn't have.
I would tell them to fix it. But I even when I felt shit, I knew I had to go boxing. I had to go pole down. I had to do something to take me out of it. But now I'm content in feeling kak. I'm content in going, I'm not okay.
No, I was gonna say, where, so is that just from losing your mom that put you into that space with being not okay, or
My mom.
just
I'll never be okay.
No, for sure. But the contentment, because life happens to everybody, bro. Like if someone's going through shit, you know, we have no right to, like, we can't tell you.
Agreed.
Fix it.
Oh, no, agreed.
Yeah.
So for me, my with Jason and I used to see someone not at their full potential. Look, Ebenezer, who committed suicide. I called Tat and I said, I'm glad I wasn't close to him. Because I would have tried to save him.
Yeah.
I would have tried to save him and I would have failed.
Yeah.
And
you would have felt responsible.
Yeah, and I see a lot of comedians who saw it coming, or were like, this is going to happen. And like, I've seen interviews of people not brush it off, but carry on after he says he's not okay because he said it so often. Now, I commend all of you who were able to carry on. And I'm not saying you guys didn't try. I know if I was close to that guy, that would have destroyed me. It's destroyed me watching the whole thing.
But I think post your mom, I think it would have given you a deeper understanding.
Yes. Yeah.
And not made it okay, because it's not okay.
No.
And it's never going to be okay. It's like losing your mom is not okay. And it's never going to be okay. But it would have definitely allowed you to understand that this is not up to you.
Agreed.
And this is greater than all of us. Like the darkness he felt. You know, Tabiso said something so remarkable. You know, the more you kind of think about it, and he said, Tabiso Mhlongo, the comedian, said, I want you all to know that you must be proud of Ib because the darkness only won once. Ib won many times. The darkness only won once. And that I think was just so indicative of a long fought battle, of somebody who fought the darkness every single day. And I think it's so difficult for us to empathize with somebody who feels the darkness. Just like you needed to lose your mom to give you perspective for some people's darkness, it was impossible for you to have that perspective thereafter. But after feeling that type of pain, it opens your world up. And I'm so glad that you articulate that thing of, you now look at people in a more sensitive way, expect from people differently, and also kind of try to go, hey, maybe it's not about me. Maybe this person is going through something, has been through something.
Agreed.
And I think a lot of us just react based on, face value or based on our own set of experiences, which I think makes the world a very difficult place to exist in.
And we're also still in that space of feeling like people are doing things to you.
100%.
So you don't take the time to go, hey, maybe this person lost a mom, maybe they're having a fight, maybe they're going through financial, whatever the case might be. It's just, why are you doing this to me? And I think that's the.
So I think if I knew him earlier, I would have tried to fix him.
Absolutely. No, I know you. You would have definitely.
Yeah, like, it would have been my mission.
I know Ib from the early days.
Yeah.
Like I used to go and fetch Ib to go to the box and like do comedy, and I was very close with the bra, and it fucking broke me because I saw it coming, and I knew that there's nothing. We tried because we spoke about it in our previous episode, where it was surrounded by love, bro.
Yeah.
He knew that
People that believed in him, encouraged him, loved him.
Yes, and everybody, we all tried. Gave him opportunities, created work, because we believed in that talent, the amazing human that he was going to be. And I think it was Tabiso as well that said, the frustration is that we knew what he was capable of and what a great star he was going to be.
Mojack, yeah.
Was it Mojack? But he wasn't for the world. He was for us. And I think there's something like that we don't want to admit and just accept that that's the way the world works, bro. That's what happened was that he was there for us. He came into our lives. He was a fucking storm in everybody's life.
Yeah.
And Now he's gone.
I think that this is fascinating because it's forced me to put the two of you together. And like you said, you and Eb weren't, you know what I mean? You're grateful that...
We chatted in the DMs?
Yeah, like we all did because of, the industry. But you and Eb, for me, are polar opposites of the same battery. You both have a dramatic impact on anybody's life. You both are dramatically talented, undeniably so. And when I say undeniably so, it doesn't matter who you speak to, whether they are a critic or not. You have to acknowledge Eb's immense talent, just like you have to acknowledge Siv's immense talent. It's also a disruptor in the sense that you don't subscribe to the same set of rules that everybody else subscribes to. You live on a different frequency, almost, which means when you're in Siv's presence, it's like I've had to change a lot about my life has changed. I allow men to touch me, kiss me, hug me, tell me they love me at the same time while feeling safe and feeling like Siv is the only man that kisses me on my face, but also I won't fight him because he'll probably moor me because he can handle his scandal. And it's like you don't think about stuff like that. But I say the opposite side of the same battery because in the middle you spread the same, the same love, the same joy, the same talent, the same magnificence of craft, yet you would never take your life. I could never see you taking your life because you love yourself. You embrace yourself. You accept yourself. I think on a level that Eb was never able to do. I don't know Eb's backstory. I don't know Eb's parents. I don't know, Eb's mental situation. I'm not a psychologist, but you were given such a foundation from your mom and from that home life where you knew being different was okay. You knew being different was acceptable, so much so that it became your reason. Like, bruh, I've spent enough time with you to know that you hate feeling normal. That if you were in a room full of Sivs, you'd leave that room because you needed to stand out. You needed to be different.
So I don't want the episode to be about my mother, but what you just said now, to wrap it up, that when I can give an example that said at my mom's memorial service in Kukuletu, in a township, in a cold church, all black. The priest said in Xhosa, your mother shared your drag videos and your pole dancing videos in our church WhatsApp group.
Come on. Come on. In Kugs.
In Kukuletu, in Xhosa. Of a straight man.
Yeah.
Who's been through Xhosa initiation.
Yes.
Who they all know is straight.
Yes.
And she was like, this is my boy. Right? It is an advantage that I have over most. I'm not saying Ib didn't have the same thing.
We don't know.
But I'm just saying my advantage is that when I wore a dress and high heels, when I first called my mother on WhatsApp call, she said, hey, where's my boy? I was like, no, Mom, it's me. Do you know what she said? Oh, you look so beautiful, my boy.
Oh.
So like, you can't compete with me when it comes to loving self.
You weren't looking for it anywhere else?
I'm not looking for I haven't had to find it. But let me tell you the thing that gets me now. All the zeros in the account, all the zeros, all the success, all the access, all the companies, everything that I have means nothing. So with all that foundation, the stuff that I have, the success, the money, the everything, I could call Cyril if I wanted to. I could get, there's no one I can't get to. It doesn't make it any worthwhile. And that's the daily struggle of living with this. It's a backpack. There's bricks on your shoulders. And you have to carry this brick-filled bag every day. And all you do is just move it occasionally. And some days it cuts into your shoulder. You just have to move it to the side and carry on walking. Some days you fall in water and it gets heavier. But at the end of the day, it's going to get drier. It's going to get a little bit better.
There was a lady here at the studios who used to wear those ankle weights. I don't know if you've seen them, like people, trying to be fit or whatever, just wear ankle weights. And I remember the first day we came to check the studios out, and I said, hey, tell me about these things. And she looked down and she went, I wear them every day. I've even forgotten that they're there.
Yeah.
And I think that that's such a nice analogy of it. The weight never goes away.
No.
The pain never goes away. But you wear it every day, and eventually you get to a point where you get used to it. You know what I mean? So they say time is a great healer, and that's a wound that doesn't heal, but your body gets to a point where you can live with it. You know what I mean? You learn to live with it, which I've been experiencing you doing, living with it.
So I love that when I look at myself in the mirror, I can see my twinkle back.
Yes.
I lost the twinkle.
Yes.
I lost the twinkle for a while, but the saying that saved me was this thing that said, as I listened to a podcast. I listen to podcasts often because I'm always trying to learn information and I'm always trying to steal information.
Yes.
My mom taught me to steal.
Yeah.
Steal information,
Yeah.
steal it, and misquote it. But the one that I think that saved my life was buffaloes and cows are related. And when the storm hits, cows like to run from the storm. But buffaloes who are raised in the wild, not in captivity, have learned to turn around and run straight towards it. Because they know they'll be in the storm for a short amount of time.
It'll pass over.
But the cows will keep on running and they'll always be in the worst part of the storm continuously.
Because the storm is moving with them.
So what I did, once again, we can close with the mom section, is I went into my phone, created a mom section, took all the pictures of her, put it in a section. Every day I would look at her pictures. Every day. Played all her favorite music. Put pictures of her everywhere. Force myself to feel. I treated it like I treat my gym sessions. And I really just push. And then one day I caught myself laughing while I was talking about my mother. And I was like,
It's happening.
it's happening. And I realized that I had to be the buffalo. Because sometimes we want to be the cow. But what the cow doesn't realize is that the worst part of the storm is the front and the back. And if you run from it, you'll always be at the front. But that buffalo is doing is running through it, nothing here, out, and he's fine. So I challenge everyone to be the buffalo. And my problem was, I always wanted people to be buffaloes.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand watching people be the cow.
Yeah.
But ironically, eventually I realized, like, oh, that's their thing, right?
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of comedians who are that. There's a lot of comedians who we all love, who are like, Flippy, you're such a cow. I wish you were a buffalo. But then eventually you realize, okay, we've got to
meet your storm,
We
my
also
friend.
can't
You're gonna
all
meet
be
your storm.
buffaloes.
No.
Because then everyone's running through the storm and then...
Agreed. And some, but yeah, that's what I've learned. So for me, I think, I called Luisa Gola, and I said, this is sad. And he was like, how sad from 1 to 10? It's like, what a weird thing to say. And I said 12. And I said, but it's unfortunate because I don't think many of the comedians in the community will learn anything from this. And that, I think, could be one of the biggest devastations of his death.
I think, to be honest, I think a lot of the comedians have learned a lot from it. And I think that's, like I said, because we saw it coming. And I think it was supported and loved by his family as well. I don't think like this.
Yeah. We're not saying,
like I say,
Yeah,
we're not comparing because
We're not saying...
we're not comparing, but I'm just...
Two things can be right at the same time.
Yes. So I just want to clarify, I don't want it to sound like we're saying, hey, it
No.
wasn't
No,
kept
we're
for...
not.
like,
We're not saying that. We're not saying that.
So I think that comedians have learned something from it. I hope, like...
You hope, or you
those
think?
that I've engaged with, I know a few of us have learned. And just become more compassionate and empathetic with each other and just communicating more about things other than comedy, because all we do is speak about comedy all the time.
There's one bullshit saying that drives me crazy. Check on your friends. Guys, there's nothing you guys could have done.
No.
You could have checked on him 5 minutes before he did whatever he did.
But that's what I was saying, is that he knew he was checked on.
Yeah.
Dude, at his memorial, I realized that we had no idea who Ebenezer was. And the reason, what made me realize that is when I got there and looked around and I realized there's so many different people from so many different walks of life.
that he touched
I wanted to be there so badly.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful.
Dude,
I watched it.
people where I looked and I was like, where did you meet these people? What were you doing? Like this little sliver of your life that you shared with me, I realized that we have no idea. So yes, check up on your friends, but also we've got to. It's on us to
With our own lives.
to say what must happen.
Yeah,
and how we're feeling.
My favorite part is that Eb took responsibility for himself. When I was there, what was so loud for me looking around was when my friend Brian passed. I remember
That killed me.
the night before he died. I was at the hospice and I was like, I'm not coming back. This is the last time I want to see you because I don't want to see you and you're not able to reply to me. And I said to him, I've also never had a friend die. Let me ask you the question. Do you have any final words? Like, you're now on your deathbed. But I was 36. And the most powerful thing he said to me was what he said to me last. He said, bruh, it wasn't long, but at least it wasn't boring. And I can't explain that. Even when I was standing there with Eb's thing, I looked around and I was like, it wasn't long, but at least it wasn't boring. Everybody there had a crazy story about Eb. Every time we saw Eb, he was living his life to the absolute maximum. Then I'm not trying to assimilate on anybody. But if it were up to me, I would much rather have a short time that was full of amazing than have a long time that was full of nothing. Like, I can't explain it any better than that, because time is a construct. We don't have time. You know what I mean? In the greater scheme of things, whether you have 30 years or 100 years out of the 4 billion years that the earth is, there is no time. So just whatever time you do have, make sure that time is unbelievable. So I want us to
So
not,
what did he say? Repeat what he said.
he said it may not have been long, but at least it wasn't boring.
You should have said, that's what he said.
I hope you get a running stomach tomorrow. You bastard. I hope you get a running stomach tomorrow. You do a lot of things. I once had an argument with you about the fact that I feel like activists die broke. And because you are an activist that has clearly bucked that trend. Generally, people who are very vocal or people who are willing to polarize audiences,
There's a price.
there's a price to pay. I, as your friend, am so proud of the fact that you stand for so much, and I often feel guilty sitting in a room next to you. As somebody who's corporatized their business so much, I've also had to corporatize my voice, and I've lost my voice in a lot of spaces because I can't say a thing, or I've got to be careful of what I say because of kind of who my clients are and where my money comes from. What I'm proudest of you for is, for you, right is right, and you don't care about the consequences. Where does that activist in you come from? Talk to me about the activist in you.
First of all, I want to say, people think I don't think of the price that I pay.
Yes.
I think people think, which is crazy. I know there's a price to pay. I know that I'm paying the price. There's a reason why I'm not a MAPS.
Yeah.
And MAPS and I are very close. I'm not saying...
Yeah, we love you, MAPS.
We love MAPS. I'm not saying... I'm saying... or a katlejo or kind of a thing. I sometimes watch their careers and go, wow, is that how I would have had to do it to be able to do that or get that kind of life?
And this is the way the world is.
Yeah, agreed. So mention that I'm not downplaying. I love them. They've got great careers, but I grew up. I keep on going back to this person. Goodness gracious, my mom used to fetch me on a Sunday from Kukuletu, from the townships, to go home, and we used to sit on the bedsides of perfect strangers, and I used to cry next to the beds of perfect strangers because my mother used to go, oh, someone from church is sick, someone's aunt is sick, and then I used to get dragged to sit and sit there, watch my mom cry, and then I used to cry. Oh no, little kid had a heart transplant, let's go. Then I used to go to the Red Cross hospital and then watch this kid befriend these kids, and then 5 months later the kid's dead. So that's the life I always grew up. It's the only life that I know. There was no gray area in my house. It was always black or white, and that's where it comes from. It comes from that and then I've always just wanted to be Superman. I've always just wanted to change lives and get people out of burning buildings. And then And then I realized that I won't be able to save everyone. And then I try and make the world better than when I left it. I don't get stopped anymore for people saying, I loved you on this, I loved you on this. Most people who ask pictures for me are people who want to say thank you for what you're doing. Or I like what you said, or how you said it. Thank you for standing up for us. That's ironically become my brand. No one stops me. And I have done some big things. Working with Idris Elba right now, Regina King, Viola Davis. No one cares.
Yeah, but it's the same as Superman being angry that no one stopped to ask him about an article that Clark Kent wrote.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
And I've come to terms with it. Absolutely come to terms with it. I really, 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 really want the world to be a better place. And I really, really hate seeing people suffer and people struggle. I got a message the other day. I met a woman in Bali 10.5 years ago. Beautiful, whatever. Things happened, whatever. And we had a conversation, and then one day she came to South Africa. And I said to her that I want to make giving back as cool as the other side of the pillow.
What does that mean?
So have you ever gone to sleep and then you take the pillow and you turn it over? And the
I know what that means. I'm
Yes.
saying what is the other side of the
I
pillow?
want
giving
to
back?
make philanthropy and giving back cool and every day. And you don't have to call someone a philanthropist. You just call them a person.
Yeah.
Like, do
Because
you?
that's the way we should be
Yes.
living life.
Guys,
The fact
that's how
that
I see life.
We have a name
Yes,
for doing the normal things.
Yeah. So it's the same as sometimes when someone says thank you. So when someone says thank you to me for stopping at the red robot, I'm like, what else must I do? It's red. Or zebra crossing, I'm like, oh, look at it.
I'm just doing the right thing.
So she sent me a message. She sent me a message 6 months ago going, I have an alarm clock to remind someone about what they said 10 years ago.
And mine just went off.
And she went off from our 10-year conversation. And do you know what I said to her? I said, I'm just about to open my sanitary pad factory in May. I'll have the cheapest sanitary pad on the African continent. And
Which means the cheapest sanitary pad in the world.
Yeah. And I'm about to start ending period poverty. I have 95,000 women on my books every single month who get sanitary pads for my charity. It's about 950,000 sanitary pads per month. Right? I'm the biggest sanitary pad charity on the African continent.
I don't think people understand how passionate you are about that simple saying, and you say it often, that if men bled, pads would be free.
If men bled once a month, sanitary pads would be free. Yeah. Now, if you're watching this, I know you're going to talk about is, but condoms are free. Condoms don't help one person. Condoms help two people.
Yeah, and also condoms don't embarrass children at school.
Yes, it's not the same thing.
Condoms, a kid doesn't meet 2 weeks at school.
The comparison.
Yeah, they always do.
You're ignorant and you're part of the problem.
You don't understand it.
I can say it. If that was your thought, you're ignorant and you're part of the problem. I'm not attacking you. I'm inviting you to learn.
Jason, do you know what my tax guy said the other day? My tax guy said, what's this column showing me money? It says, your biggest column of expenditures every single month
is giving people money.
It's other people. We got to get this smaller, he said to me. I said, no. This is big. See, this is huge. This is the biggest, the income section.
Let me just give context to that. So South African tax law says that if I gift Nicholas money, I've got to pay the tax on that money. So when you employ a tax guy, you're trying to get him to reduce the amount that you have to pay over to the tax man every single year. So your tax man is going, your biggest tax actually comes from money
giving.
that you are giving.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. You just taught me something. I didn't know that.
So from money that you are giving, which means you are liable for the tax. So unless you're employing that person would be liable for the tax. But if you are giving them that money and it's not being put through, you are now liable.
So my biggest expenditure every single month is giving other people. And I said to him, that is big, yes, but that is the biggest, and that's my income. Because of that. Yeah. And then he said the second biggest expenditure is woman. I spend a lot of time going to dinners.
To dinners, eh?
To dinners.
Yeah, dinners.
Dinners in Bali.
Dinners,
it's for sanitary pets.
Yeah,
it's for pets. I helped 95,000 vaginas. Come on. That's the least I can do. That's the least. Come on.
Brings us back to the word degradate.
Yeah.
I wanted to say on stage when I'm going to go, come on, I helped 95,000 vaginas. It's the least we can do. I'm joking. Relax.
I'm not even. I want to make jokes, but
I'm not even getting involved because I
no,
can't
like we said, I'm
afford
not an
the cost.
activist.
Did you just say bloody hell? I'm kidding. Relax.
I'm not an activist. So
bruh, here's my thing.
Yes.
How do we get people to understand what we're saying about the normal stuff shouldn't be celebrated. Like
No.
I speak often about people come to me and like once they've met my kids, I've had so many people come up to me and go, "Ah, man, your kids are they're so well behaved, they're so polite,
Such good manners.
They have such good manners." But it got to a point where I now, if somebody comes in and celebrates that with me, I go, "Why are we?" They're supposed to greet.
Yeah.
They're supposed to say please and thank you. Like as society, that's what we're supposed to do. So then, if we're celebrating these basics as an achievement, how do we shift that mindset?
The only way to shift it for both of you.
It's a great question.
For both
It's
of
a
you.
great comment.
The only way to shift it is to accept it. The reason people celebrate it is because it's not the norm anymore. Good manners is not the norm anymore. The only way to instill good manners is to teach good manners. So to keep making sure that your kids are going to be good, to keep making sure that you do good for no reason, without wanting in return, without a calculated, I'm doing this for this, I do good because it's good. Then for me, it's therein is the acknowledgement of that's where we are. The fact that parents come to you and say, "Oh, your children are so well mannered." I wrote a bit the other day that I haven't done on stage, but I wrote a bit the other day where I actually said, Afrikaans people are not fucking ever meeting with you because this fucking manners that you're teaching your children. I had a child walk up to me the other day and say, "Hello, fuck it, I've never felt worse in my life," and that's a manners thing.
Do you know
what I mean?
the best manners I've ever come across?
Tell me.
Orania.
I'm not shocked.
The best manners the best way I've ever been treated. I'm not talking about people who are doing a PR stand. I'm talking about the
That's
no
the way we
one,
treat people.
the kids from
behind the
Orania.
camera.
I'm talking about behind the camera. I'm not talking about in front of the camera. The biggest, the politest, nicest people I've come across. Politeness. I'm not talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sure they still said I was a kafa behind my back. Cool, but the cap was off.
Hello,
Aangenaam kennis.
Manners.
There was a thing there. When I drove past, they greeted. Indescribable. But what I do want to say, and I agree with you, one of my friends, I'll say it, Alex, one of my friends, has a new girlfriend. She is unbelievable. And he will call me every day going, and I sometimes feel like I'm the worst person because I go, "No, my brother, she's just treating you like you're a normal person. I'm sorry, I'm not going to celebrate her being nice to you." I cannot. So we're saying the same thing. I just cannot because as his brother, that's all I fought for the last 14
I feel
years.
like you have to make the next person also treat him normal. I just like I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying that by your own admission, and you know, there's a backstory for context. You know, Alex has a disability and he's wheelchair bound. And as South Africans, we are very ignorant because our society hides anybody with a disability. So we're not integrated
erectile dysfunction.
into society.
They must put a sign. They must put a sign here.
They try to send them to the mountain, but it can't help everybody. And Siv is an example of you can be happy despite. Then you just help 95,000 just trying to fix it. But the point is, so I get what you're saying, but all that you're doing is admitting that society is broken. I'm not saying that you must celebrate it, but I am saying that we need more of that. So we need to encourage that. We need to highlight those examples. Then eventually they won't be celebrated because then when we're all doing it, there's nothing to celebrate.
Yeah,
But when only one person is doing it, there is unfortunately something to celebrate.
I get the theory of it. It's the same as white people going, "Oh, Siv, you're so good looking for a black person." Just call me good looking. Just call me good looking. From a scale to Idris Elba to Denzel. Just put me on the scale there. You know what I mean? Like,
no, that one. Your English is so amazing. My favorite comment to that is we had the same English teacher,
you son of a bitch.
Peter. The hell you?
No, but yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've met your kids, polite. You know, they speak how many languages?
2 to 3.
2 to 3, you know, they're polite, they do the thing, but that's not normal. Jason's right. That is not
No,
normal.
so then I'm just like, so I get it that you are frustrated because it should be normal,
Yeah.
but the fact that you get praised is evidence that it is not normal. So we need to just keep doing it until there's enough of it so that we don't have to highlight it anymore. But you have to keep doing it. So, period poverty, an incredible cause, bruh. You are one of the forerunners on the continent. Your factory is opening up. How can anybody get involved quickly?
If you want to get involved, just go on my Instagram, Siv Ngesi, drop me a DM over there. We're opening up in May. You can have white label if you want to create your own sanitary pads. If you want to actually get involved in donating to a particular school, to your old school. At the moment, it's doing incredible work. Our sanitary pads will be out in about May or so, and there you can actually go on the site and actually pay for a number of young women to actually get their sanitary pads.
It's a simple thing. I love Siv's statement of if men bled once a month, pads would be free. Pads should be free. Period poverty is a real thing. Bruh, I hope that you never stop from an activism point of view, because it can be focused on period poverty. It can be focused on the work you do for the LGBTQ plus community. It can be focused on the work that you do for gender-based violence. In all of these areas, I find you untouchable because you're human, untouchable because you're real, because you're not trying to take selfies in these environments. You are in these environments. If you've ever seen Siv at Pride, or seen videos or pictures of Siv at Pride Month, Siv is not there to take selfies. Siv is there to have as good a time as Siv can possibly have. And that's been you, is being able to embrace, understand, embody. And I'm getting annoyed with the fact that I know all of this comes back to your mom.
Oh, it's biggest regret, man. Still, my biggest regret is not experiencing her as a grandmother. I just would have loved to witness her bringing someone up the way she brought me up and just watch and learn.
Oh, my man, let me tell you, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
We're going to see a whole
agreed.
other person.
Definitely.
I look at my parents, I'm like, hey, man, you used to give me a hiding.
For the
Now
things...
now you're telling me don't shout at the child.
No, I agree.
I'm just like, no. So I get that. Like, it's such an interesting relationship to see. Like, I look at my parents with my boys now, and I'm just like, I cannot believe you are the same people who raised me.
Were you naughty?
Mischievous.
Because you look like you could have been a misunderstood child.
He was
I was
mischievous.
very misunderstood, my friend.
Because I misunderstood you when I met you.
Yeah. No, I misunderstood you also.
But also when you met Nick hadn't met Nick.
Oh, this is also true. I was a very different person when I met you.
Could have never-
It must have been like 14.
Yeah,
12,
you wouldn't.
13
You would
years.
have met just before we started comedy.
You wouldn't let
just
me
at
kiss
that
you.
time.
You wouldn't let
Yeah,
me. You wouldn't let me kiss you. You wouldn't let me kiss you.
No. I was a completely different person, bro. So yeah.
But wait a second. I have been meeting people who have seen your show. Like perfect strangers who either have watched it, then I go in the DMs and go, those are my brothers.
Yeah.
And people are like blown away by the kind of stuff that you guys are doing. And for me, I've seen all your work. I've seen all your stuff that you've done and how you've done and been able to make it look like it's not a lecture is revolutionary.
So it's the same
'Cause it's not
essence in what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to lecture anybody about anything. What we are trying to do is go, these are things that we really struggle with. And we're trying to get through this thing called life. I messaged Nick yesterday. I hadn't chatted to him all weekend. How's things going? And his reply is, yo, bruh, life is lifing. That's literally his reply. Life is lifing as usual, but you know how it is. We keep our heads down and we push on. And I was like, bruh, it is what it is what we say to each other. And it sounds cold, but you know that it's not. It is what it is because nobody's coming to save you.
No.
Nobody cares. And you've got to get up and get through it. And all of that said in the most positive possible way, because that's the best way to get through it. But what the show is, and you'll appreciate this, is the show is this, but as funny as we are in stand-up. So being able to, use stand-up as that vehicle to drive messaging. What we found is if we invite you to just even like this, this is not the best podcast to do. If you're trying to get numbers, don't do a podcast on mental health. Do a podcast talking about somebody's girlfriend and your opinion on
Somebody's
whatever.
girlfriend who slept with their
Popping a balloon.
boyfriend's
100%.
brother.
Do a podcast on literally anything else if you want to get big numbers. But this for us has just been, it's for us. It talks about the struggle I think that we're going through, the struggle that I think everybody's going through. But the show has been beautiful. It's been perfect. I can't wait for you to come and see it in its absolute vulnerability, because in order to do comedy well, you got to be as vulnerable as possible. Then speaking about the type of topic that can make you cry, but you're actually laughing.
Can't wait to get back into comedy with the new man that I am.
Bruh, I can't wait.
But I cannot believe how scared and how hard it is to switch on the iPad.
It's terrifying. So don't switch on the iPad. Let me give you advice. Don't switch on the iPad. Book the dates.
I did that.
Book the theater.
I did that.
And then?
I did it, and it just didn't feel right because the show's about my mother. And I pulled out.
But you did, that was premature. I'm saying now is not premature.
Yeah.
Now, book the dates. Trust me,
Never
that's what we
felt
did.
like a chicken shit like that in
book
my
the
life.
dates. You are not going to believe how easy it's going to be to show up and deliver, and it will be part of that healing journey.
Yeah,
part of that
it.
process.
No.
Guys, can we talk about one thing, please? Can we talk about the state of masculinity?
That's another
It's a
episode
whole
altogether.
long conversation.
Because
We spoke about it in a previous episode about it's so hard to be a man that you can't say how hard it is to be a man.
Damn it.
Because saying how hard it is to be a man feels like you're taking somebody else's hardness away, and nobody wants to listen, and even men don't want to listen, nor know how to listen.
the only thing I'm going to say is
Say this.
An entire group of people who are told that they are the problem and not that they have a problem.
Yeah.
An entire group of men who were taught to provide and to protect, and then overnight the world expects different from them.
Yeah.
And an entire group of men who November is Men's Mental Health Month, but the first 16 days of December is 16 days of activism. But no one realizes that that month, if you could help fix that month,
You won't even need that.
You won't need that 16 days.
100%.
What a forgotten people. And it's another new passion of mine of getting involved, because the work that I do, this work that I do with GBV, queer community, all that kind of stuff. If we just fix this cuck here with these men, they wouldn't make cuck there. And I can't understand how simple it is, because for me, when one side is winning, it doesn't mean the other side must lose.
But that's what the world has taught us now.
Yeah.
That we can't all win.
Yeah.
One
But-
must win, one must lose.
And I think we are finally getting to a space that we just, post-cancel culture, we need to, as men, start speaking up. But before we speak up, we need to be more like Siv. We need to hug, kiss, like we spoke about in our previous episode with Ronaldo. Be able to, as men, start being kinder to each other, start creating platforms for conversations. It's this thing of we jump on this bandwagon where we preach about something before we've changed any of the actions or activities or behaviors. Then for me, we need to first address as men, address each other, address our behaviors, address the way we talk to each other. Bruh, you have changed the way I am as a man. That's changed the way Nick is as a man. That's changed the way Nick's boys are. You know what I mean? Just the being able to kiss on the face, I love you. It's so nice to see you. How are you? Being able to, in the middle of the night, open my WhatsApp and I don't even have a hi from Siv. I just have a heart. A red heart. You know what I mean? A heart that means...
stop giving the hearts different meanings? I don't
Dog,
have time.
I'm just saying that people do that. We don't have to talk about the different hearts now, but I'm saying
No, I
that
get you.
for
I
me,
just have
to
to say.
receive a heart from a man and nothing else was a foreign thing for me. Siv normalized that. So I also think the best work we can do for men is to keep doing what we're doing, and as men start communicating with each other. Bruh, nothing changes if behavior doesn't change.
The answer for me, the answer to masculinity is not making it more feminine.
No.
No.
I can tell you, don't make it more feminine.
I'm not saying make it more feminine.
I'm not saying you are. I'm saying
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
just make it okay.
yeah.
Just make it okay.
No,
We're
so
out
for
of
me,
tape.
We are out of time, but I think we've
We're
got
out
to
of tape.
go.
Our hard drive is full.
We've got to go, like, because I agree with you. Yes, we've got to do all of those things and be okay with the hugs and the kisses and whatever. But at the same time, we've also got to look at where people are from, bruh. Like in the hood, in Eldos, it's not okay, and it's not okay because it's not okay. It's not okay because for your safety as a man.
So, but what I'm saying is that you are highlighting my point. Is as men, we have to subscribe to so many community guidelines, so many community rules. So whether it be cultural rules, religious rules, then we have expectations as men, expectations of each other, expectations from spouse, expectations from family. It is almost impossible. So what I'm saying is a good place to start as men is creating platforms for men to actually talk and share about the way men are supposed to be, what men are going through, where your difficulties are. But we're also in a space where one man will listen to your problems while another man will tell you to drink a concrete milkshake and harden the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So on that, like I went to I was invited to a men's kind of space to share, and beautiful. A whole lot of guys, random guys, get together, share, emotional, beautiful, and then I have a conversation on WhatsApp after the event with one of the guys who invited me, and everything's cool, like we're sharing the link between our emotions and how great it is to have all these different men of different backgrounds in the same place with the same feelings, and then immediately goes to some shit that some woman did, and then starts disrespecting the woman. So I think that's also a thing that we've got to try and balance, because I feel like those circles of men, it needs to be very clear what the intention is, that who's invited, what those types of things mean, because I feel like a lot of men out there go into or are looking for those spaces because they're looking for other men to bash women, to talk shit to.
My fro's done a lot of research for gender-based violence purposes on men. And one of the loudest things that she highlights to me is that South Africa is a fatherless society.
60%.
Like how many men grow up without a father figure, a father role, and even when there is a father role, he's been indoctrinated to be a certain way and therefore makes you be a certain way.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, for me, I think a good place to start, because I don't think there's a right or wrong, but a good place to start is just men being able to come and speak openly and freely without judgment and without hatred. So it shouldn't be a platform to bash women. It shouldn't be a platform to bash other men. It should just be a thing to share, to go, yo, gents, how should we be? Because we are having an identity crisis, bruh. All of us are having an identity crisis, and it's manifesting in so many ugly ways. But the easier we can get to, it's okay to not be okay. Let's talk about it. Let's get through it. As soon as we speak about it, we go, but we mustn't feminize the thing. Because that's how we are at the moment. We're all so reactive to each other that it becomes so difficult to heal this wound where everybody's fighting and pulling and...
Just trying to stay safe. Yeah.
Guys, I just want to say, pleasure. I love your work. Love your work.
Proud of you.
Thank you for
what
coming.
I think what we mustn't forget as men, everyone talks about fatherless homes, but we mustn't forget that every fatherless home, there is a positive male role model. And you do not have any children, but you're a very positive role model for the kids that are around you. Let's not forget that. So let's not take away the power of
100%.
people, whatever. You too. And for me, my calling into this world is to be a father. I look forward to
Superman.
Look forward to bringing one up.
Superman.
And guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming through. We really
I'm
appreciate
very
it.
proud of you, Siv Ngesi. Thank you for taking time.
Thank you so
I
much.
wish we had another 4 hours, and we will do this again.
If you're watching this, I'm Siv Ngesi, and I'm great.
He is. He really is.
He's all right.